Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to make a video talking all about my labor and delivery experience. As you can see here, I've got my little present here. So if you want to hear about my labor and delivery experience, then just keep on watching. I tried to vlog my labor and delivery experience, but as the day progressed and I stayed there longer, I kind of forgot to vlog. So I'm just going to kind of talk through and insert clips here and there of what I have. Hey guys, welcome back to the vlog. So today is my induction day and we are headed to the hospital so I can be induced overnight. Getting a little nervous, but I'm sure it'll be okay. So we'll see you when we get to the hospital. Well, I delivered about 3 weeks ago. It's so weird that he'll be 1 month next week. But we're just adjusting to things, getting to know each other. He's a very calm baby. He was born on April 29th and delivered at 9:06 p.m. I was a scheduled induction. We tried seeing if I was dilated at all on my own, but of course I wasn't. I was completely closed cervix. So my doctor had me come in on a Tuesday night to be induced. I ended up getting Pitocin, which is a medication to help kind of ripen or thin out your cervix more before they give you IV medication. So given everything that's happened since Scotty passed away, everybody in the labor and delivery wanted to make it really special for me. So my friends were really nice and they decorated the room for me in my favorite color. And they brought like buckets of candy and snacks for the staff at the hospital. And I brought cookies. And then they had me change into a gown, which one of my friends got me a special gown to wear. Okay, we arrived in the room and my friends decorated it for me. Oopsie. Here's my favorite color. And candy. And this cute gown, which I'm going to wear after delivery, so I don't want to mess it up. And then I got these cookies for them for a night shift and then day shift. Yeah. Nice TV. And then here's the baby warmer with a Wayhem. Okay, I'm about to come back and start my IV. See you in a little bit. And then the nurse inserted the first dose of Pitocin. So I usually get it, I was supposed to get mine every 4 hours. So she did that and it honestly didn't hurt. So I've gotten all checked in, gotten my IV here. They had to give me some fluids because I was a little dehydrated. And he was really sleepy on the monitor. But we're all good to go now. She just placed my first dose of the Cytotec to help kind of thin out my cervix. She said I'm still not dilated at all, and the head is still really high, so it's gonna take a while. But I've been having some contractions on the monitor, but I don't feel anything, so that's good. Really, I've been contracting at home, which to me felt like my bladder was being stomped on. But no progress, so I will check back in a little while. Kind of felt like mild period cramps. Nothing too crazy. I didn't feel like I needed pain medication or anything, so that was good. And the first 4 hours seemed to go by pretty fast, and then it was time for me to get my second dose of Cytotec. So this was probably like 1 in the morning, and she gave me that, and I think I was still maybe 1 centimeter by this point, but she went ahead and gave me the second dose. The second dose hurt a bit more. I started having a little bit more intense cramps. They still weren't that bad, but the weird thing was that it felt more like my bladder was being squeezed, or like it felt like twisted with each contraction more than like actual abdominal pain, which was weird. I remember I couldn't get up for 2 hours after she placed the Cytotec, and all I kept thinking was like, I'm gonna pee on myself, I'm gonna pee on myself. Like, that's what it felt like. My bladder was like full, and then someone was just squeezing it, and I was fighting the urge to like not pee on myself, which in reality, I don't even think I really had to pee. So after the 2 hour mark, I got up to the bathroom. At this point, like I said, it was kind of cramping more intensely, and my bladder was hurting. And when I came back from the bathroom, I realized that my water was broken. So this was like 3 a.m. And she checked my cervix, and I think I was 2 centimeters, 2 or 3 centimeters. So I was like, okay. I ended up asking for some pain medication at this point, because I was kind of like, what's the point of hurting? And she gave me an IV medication called Stadol, which made me feel kind of drunk. I felt like I was like drifting away on a boat somewhere. But the Stadol only probably worked for like an hour, and then I started hurting again. And that was when I ended up getting an epidural.
Finally, we can start working on the chip lab. Yeah. Well, we have less than 2 days. That porcelain slab looks amazing. The newer material, it looks like marble, but it's way more affordable. And it's going to be that cherry on top. If we break this today, I will lose this challenge, because there's no way we'll have time to replace it. We're in good shape. We have windows in, countertops, chip lab's going up. If I can get the recessed cabinet doors on.
The epidural went fine. We didn't have any issues with it. They did it pretty quickly. And as soon as like they gave me the epidural and it started working, I was like, why does anyone want to do this naturally? And I'm pretty sure that it could have hurt more. Like, I wasn't at the point of like dying yet, but I didn't want to get there, because I know they said they were gonna change shifts at like 7 a.m. and I knew that's probably when I was probably gonna want the epidural. But once they changed shifts, there's probably like a delay because they have to give report, and it would have just taken longer for someone to actually get in there and give me the epidural versus getting it in the middle of the night when it's not as busy and chaotic. So I was happy with my decision. I finally got a couple of hours of sleep, and then the doctor came probably around I want to say 8, I'm not really sure, and she checked me, and I think I was 3 or 4 centimeters, and I thought, oh, I'm moving along pretty quickly, like we're definitely gonna have this baby by afternoon. And then everything just kind of slowed down. I forgot to mention, so they ended up starting Pitocin on me once my water broke. So they only got up to 2 milliliters an hour, and I was contracting like every 2 minutes, but I couldn't feel it, thank God. So I don't know how much longer later it was since the doctor came and checked me, but at some point, maybe like 10, 11 in the morning, I was like 5 centimeters. And then shortly thereafter, I was 7 centimeters. And I think this was all still before like 3 or 4 o'clock in the evening. So, you know, I'm still thinking definitely gonna have a baby by 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. And then I just kind of like got stuck at 7 centimeters for hours. They had to come in and put oxygen on me because he started looking really funny on the monitor. They had me like flip different ways on my side, trying to get him to look better on the monitor. And I remember the nurse saying that the doctor called to check up on me and asking her, like, did she think I was going to be able to do it or make it? Because I think, of course, I was like still like 7 to 8 centimeters at this point. She had a crazy stop it. So luckily the nurse said she did think I could do it, you know. So I know the doctor said she was gonna go eat with her dad because it was his birthday and then come back and check on me. But I know there was like a different doctor on call at this point. Unfortunately, my doctor stayed on call for me, which I felt bad because I'm like, she's supposed to be off. And now she's staying on call just to take care of me. But I think because of my whole situation, she felt kind of bad just ditching me for the on-call doctor. So the doctor showed back up at like a little bit before 8 o'clock at night. And I think at this point they were calling me like 8 to 9 centimeters. I still had a little bit of cervix left somewhere. And so my doctor came in and she had me kind of push and bear down to try to move the cervix out of the way. And it worked because I really think they were considering a C-section at this point. And I was getting really tired. I'd been drugged up because they gave me a lot of different medications through my epidural at this point, because I remember I started feeling pain again on my right side, like just my right side of my stomach. It was really crampy. And so they kept dosing me with different medications to try and relieve that spot. And I would get relief for, you know, like 20-30 minutes and then it would come back. But so by the time I got ready to push, I just felt like so drained and drugged already. But I knew I didn't want a C-section, so, oh hello, I'm sorry. So they had me start pushing around 8 o'clock. And after I started pushing with the nurse, they said something like popped. And I heard something pop down there and I started like oozing blood everywhere. So they called the doctor back in and she stayed in there and repaired me, repaired this spot in between me pushing, which was really weird, but it was just apparently like oozing and oozing and oozing and wouldn't stop. So I apparently pushed for an hour. Everyone says I pushed really good because he was still really high up when I started pushing, but you know, whatever. So I pushed for an hour, and you know how they say there's that ring of fire? Well, I felt it. It didn't really burn, but it was definitely noticeable because the doctor was telling me like, okay, like he's crowning, you just got like a little bit more, like, can you give me one more push? And I'm like, no, I'm so tired, you know, and they tell you push harder, harder, and you literally feel like there's no possible way I can push any harder. That's what I wanted to say, like I have nothing left in me to possibly push. Like I really wanted to give up, but I knew that this just wasn't really an option, so I finally got his head out, and they said he had a lot of molding. His head was kind of lopsided, so I think that's why it took him so long to come down or get him out. And then I felt the shoulders coming out, and that felt kind of weird, and then the placenta came out, and that felt really weird and slimy. But I was just glad that it was over with. You know. I'm sorry. Okay. So I ended up bleeding a lot after. Only had a 2nd-degree laceration, but I lost a lot of blood. So much that like once everything was over, once he came out, he was really stunned, not really crying or responsive. So they called NICU to kind of be on standby, but he ended up perking up. They had to suction a little bit out of him, I think, but he was fine. And then they repaired me for a while. It seemed like forever. And like I said, I lost a lot of blood. And once it was all over and the nurse was getting ready to take me up to postpartum, I sat on the side of the bed and got really, really dizzy, and like, so that like the whole room was just like, whoo, whoo, whoo. So I passed back out on the bed. I had to go up. They had to move me on a stretcher because I couldn't stand up and walk from being so dizzy. And then once I got upstairs to postpartum, I felt pretty nauseated. But I just ended up eating some crackers and falling asleep. And then probably in the middle of the night, I got up to use the bathroom and again felt really dizzy and lightheaded. Hey guys, sorry, my camera died, so I had to switch to my vlogging camera, so I'm just gonna finish up really quick. because I don't think I have a lot of memory on this card either. And basically I was saying, once I got to postpartum, I kept feeling like I was going to pass out and getting really dizzy every time that I stood up. So when the doctor came to see me the next morning, I told him, and they ordered some lab work on me, and so my white blood cells had gone up, but my blood level went from 34 to 24, which was a huge drop for me. And so they would kind of figure, oh, maybe that's why you're so dizzy. But then later in that afternoon, I spiked the temperature of like 101 point something. So, of course, when the nurse called the doctor, they started me on antibiotics. So I ended up having to stay in the hospital an extra day so I could get 24 hours of antibiotics. And they drew more blood work, which the second round, my blood level dropped from 24 to 19. For some reason, they still didn't give me a blood transfusion. I don't know, but yeah, so I ended up staying. Didn't get to go home till Saturday. Is it Saturday night? Saturday evening? Saturday night? Well, I don't even know. Wednesday. I don't know. It was really late. It was like 11:30 at night. But I don't remember if it was Saturday night or Friday night. So anyway, that was the deal with me. They discharged me home on some iron tablets. I finally stopped feeling dizzy after 2 days of being home. But yeah, took the life out of me delivering a baby. It's really something else. But yeah, that's pretty much my labor and delivery story. I feel like it wasn't as bad as I expected it to be. It definitely took a long time, like pretty much 24 hours, the whole process. But definitely worth the wait. I feel like a champion, you know, when you push them out and you feel like, wow, I did it. I felt like I really did it and I really accomplished it, even though I didn't feel like I could do it. So I'm glad that I was able to prove myself wrong. And any of you that are afraid of inductions, you know, don't be afraid. It wasn't that bad. Just make sure, you know, they explain everything to you and the whole process and step by step. I think you'll be fine. But, you know, and if you're hurting, get the epidural. Don't try to be a hero. 'Cause I definitely was not. Anyway, I'm gonna try and film a nursery tour this weekend. Hopefully have that video up next. But until then, I will see you later. Bye.